Good to have you with us in the 9 p.m. edition of the Urban Debate. Viewers, something very interesting has begun to now happen repeatedly, which is why I believe it's the right time to have this conversation. On one hand, you've had the UP government for the last 2 days tell us that there is a massive conspiracy to defame the government, to attack the government, to target the UP government, and this is being done with foreign funding. There is an international conspiracy, a foreign hand at play. This is being done with the use of social media, fake rumors, false information, fake posts. They are being circulated to create a kind of a narrative. The UP government has said this and has actually filed 22 FIRs and arrested 9 people. They've included, they're all kinds of rivals, from Congress to PFI to named even media, print media, broadcast media, blame the social media for this large conspiracy against the UP government specific to the Hathras case. Similarly, here in Maharashtra, as the turnaround happened in the Sushant case, with reports emerging that the AIIMS board has not found any hint of a murder or poisoning, and that it's a clear case of a suicide. The Maharashtra government has now come out and said that there was a larger conspiracy to defame the Mumbai police and the Maharashtra government. In fact, the Mumbai police is probing nearly 80,000 social media handles that they say are fake. 80,000 fake social media handles were created around the time of that story, that there was a political conspiracy in spreading fake news involving the media as well, that there was a targeted campaign to malign the Mumbai police, to malign the Maharashtra government, and a foreign hand attempted to influence the Sushant Singh Rajput case. 2 big high-profile cases, the Sushant case and the Hathras case. At one point, the focus moved from the core issue, which was the death of Sushant, to a larger conspiracy. The death of a 19-year-old in Hathras, to a larger conspiracy. And if you go back further, then the actual debate over Citizenship Amendment Act, or NRC, to a larger conspiracy against the government. Repeatedly, we are seeing governments now blame the social media for a coordinated, large attempt to target the government. Is social media the big dangerous tool as it is being made out to be? How do we handle this? That's the big question I am going to ask tonight. Is it the new weapon for disruptive elements? How do we get a handle on it? Let's say good evening to the guests who are joining me right now. Tuhin Sinha, spokesperson for the BJP, Clyde Crasto of the NCP, Ritesh Bhatia, cybersecurity expert, and Jiten Jain, also a cybersecurity expert. If I can just start with the experts first, and Ritesh, let's begin with you. There is merit to this fact. You would agree that repeatedly on big issues we are seeing a coordinated attempt to target the government?
Well, Tanvi, yes, I can definitely say that these things are happening, and more importantly, as a technical person, I can also tell you like how these things are happening. You know, especially the trending, and you know, whatever you want to get it trended and other things. There are agencies, there are people, there are somebody like digital vigilantes who are actually doing things like that. In fact, last week itself, Mahua Das from Times of India, your parent group, did a brilliant story on the same thing on digital vigilantism. So there again, we saw how like these people are coming together, taking polls as to what topic, what hashtag needs to be trended, to be in the trending next day. They take a poll on it, and once they have taken a poll on it, they go and put it on the Telegram, which would be having like nothing less than like 10,000 followers, and then they start working on it. Even as far as like the Mumbai thing that I was seeing, I mean, today when I read it in the Times of India again, I saw like many of them. I mean, I felt like these are like bots. Of course, I have not investigated. I have absolutely no idea about it. But whatever we can make it out, like, by looking at the number of followers, by when the account was created, what is the account name and all. So this is definitely quite a lot of a coordinated thing that is happening. Tanvi.
Yes, in fact, I will ask you, Ritesh, to also, give us specific examples in just a bit. But let me bring in Jiten as well. Jiten, just how big do you think this is as a challenge? Is it the new weapon for all kinds of disruptive elements in our country now?
You see, weaponization of information and then using it for propaganda campaigns and information warfare has been happening from last 3 4 years. Elections have been subverted. Campaigns have been derailed using the same social media by weaponizing misinformation. It happened in US. It happened in Middle East. We saw during anti-CEA protest and lockdown, a lot of anti-India campaigns projecting Islamophobia and India narrative was being pushed by Pakistan, by the foreign intelligence agencies like ISPR and ISI, to create a narrative of India, not as a developing and secular country, and then target credentials to hit our foreign policy and the growing success of our foreign policy in Middle East. So now you have to understand one thing. You see, if 10,000 people are running a coordinated campaign against Mumbai police, I think it is okay. It's free speech. But if the people who are running the campaigns are fake, if the accounts are fake, if the motives are orchestrated, if the content is not true, if there is involvement of foreign actors, then it is a alarming sign of a growing influence. And now the bigger question then one might ask, that who was doing it? Was it a political party? Was it somebody within Mumbai police to settle some old equations? Was it some actors who are out to exploit Sushant issue, or was it a foreign agency? See, we must grow above this political bickering and ask a larger question. If there is a possibility of foreign hand being involved, as Mumbai police has also said, then we must seriously look at whether there was an involvement of a foreign agency or not, whether they were trying to create a rift within our society, within our police agencies. So those are the larger questions we must ask. But so far as this, social media campaigns and hashtagging and trending is concerned, I think this is the new reality of the day. It happens everywhere. All film stars are using it. All artists are using it to get fake likes on YouTube. All netas are using it to get their rallies and speeches trended. So I think this is the new reality we are living in.
Yeah, okay. So that's actually one part. Let's take that and try and differentiate. Clyde, let's begin with you on this. When we say there is a foreign hand involved, is it a foreign agency that's sitting and plotting how to target the Maharashtra government, various politicians, and the police, or is it more about people being paid off to create these bots, these handles, and run with the information that somebody wants to be fed, which may be actually being done out of India?
See, Tanvi, there could be anything involved in this. When these experts were talking about foreign hand could be anything. When you put somebody from outside the country who's been instigated by people from the country, there could be people who are not connected to the political party as it looks up, but they're also affiliated to the political party. So that could be a lot of foreign hands trying to set a narrative. Now, I'll tell you something. I have a report by the University of Michigan. These few professors, Professor Joyajit Pal. I mean, he's been spoken about, in the last couple of days, and today he's been spoken about a lot. And how this University of Michigan report, I've got this report in hand, and I was through, and how to explain this whole narrative that was set in the last, few months, and how by particular government, that's the Maharashtra government, then the Mumbai police, the Maharashtra police, how they were systematically targeted. You want to say that these were motivated accounts. You see the timeline of when these accounts were actually started. It was something, post June, in the days later on, how these accounts were made. There were specific hashtags that were how by certain houses, certain journalists, certain political parties. So there was a set pattern in this whole thing. Now the Mumbai police spoke about 80,000 fake accounts with case to be filed against these people. We will go deeper into this thing because this has to be done. You spoke about how this was a weapon. I'll tell you something. This has been made into a weapon. Social media is one of the most wonderful tools that you can have to reach across to people for the kind of work you do or the kind of things that are happening around the country. A good message can be sent out. The kind of things that you need to portray can be sent out. But certain people over the years have misused it and made it a weapon. And this mess needs to be cleared. It's about time that we clear this mess, because I'll tell you what, these are influences. These are negative influences. How an unfortunate death of a rising star was misused by these people to set a narrative, to set their own political agenda, to get their own points across to people, their own mindsets across to people. And I'll tell you something. I was at a press conference today, and please allow me to say this. I was at a press conference today, and somebody asked a question that if somebody outside the country was holding a banner saying that justice for so and so, what was that? Was it fake? Was that something that the person was planned out? Now, that could be anything. But if it was a real fan of this actor, then I don't blame that fan, because you love the actor, you see the actor's movies, you want to aim, you want to become like that actor, and suddenly this whole narrative has been set around his death, and it hurts them. It affects them, so they came out. That does not mean that the supporters of these particular narrative setters, I don't blame them. But you are playing with the minds of individuals. You are, kind of setting a narrative in the minds of the people. You're actually playing with minds. So stop it. It's about time you stop this mindset games that you've been playing with people, because this is not a medium. Social media is not a medium to influence somebody's mind negatively. You want to do
Yeah,
it?
but Clyde, very quickly, before I go to Tuhin, who is this you that you're talking about, Clyde? Can we say that there is one entity, or aren't all entities doing this for their own benefits wherever they want to build a narrative?
We are working on this, like the other political parties that create a narrative. We don't want to create a narrative, and definitely not on your channel, nor do we want to create a narrative on any channel. Once we come with the proofs, we know where it is leading to. We have idea where it's leading to. We have idea which political party is leading to. We have got FIR has been lodged against certain people. They will spill the beans. When it's all out there in the open, I will come back on your channel and take the name of the political party, take the name of those people who are involved in the whole thing. Just be assured, I will do that. And you've known me enough to don't mince words. I will take the names of those people once we have actual perfect proof right in front of us. And we have things coming up. And in the coming days, we know who these people are. And we will tell you in print, on video, that who these people are.
Okay, so NCP refuses to name right now, but the BJP on the other hand, Tuhin in UP has very clearly said these people are the Congressis and the PFIs and all our other rivals itself. So it looks like almost every big institution and political party and media, if governments and politicians are to be believed, have found a way to build narratives and use social media to really push information and brainwash people.
Well, social media is a necessary evil today, and it can't be wished away. So, but the point is, it derives its narratives from the larger narratives which are prevailing in the society at that point of time. If you look at now these are three different cases, okay? And let me come to each of the cases: the UP case, the Delhi riots, and the Mumbai one by one. If you look at the UP case, right now on Times Now, they're playing out a completely different story where, as per the call data records, there were at least 100 calls in the last few days between the victim's kin and the prime accused. So that completely turns the story on its heads, and possibly, I'm still not making a final, conclusive statement on that, but possibly the rape may not have occurred at all. So in that situation, the antics of one particular journalist of one particular channel who kind of distorted the entire story from day one comes under probe. It has nothing to do with social media, so social media plays a secondary role over here. Now, when you come to the Delhi riots, Tahir Hussain certainly does not have a social media following, but yes, supporters or fellow people who were organizing those riots were hoodwinking the nation, while Tahir Hussain was assembling all kinds of bombs and explosives to be used for riots on his terrace. And when you come to Mumbai, if you recall, from 14 June onwards, which is the day of Sushant Singh Rajput's death, the social media and WhatsApp University was active from that day onwards. But it was only around the end of July, or only after mid-July, when two big national channels picked up the issue, that the issue really became something which was discussed in every nook and corner of the country. So social media largely follows the larger narratives which are in play, and sometimes it is vice versa also. But I do believe that the Maharashtra Home Minister's claim that 80,000 fake accounts were created is clearly exaggerated. Fact is that in the last 3 months, if this was so, the entire agenda for reinvestigation, the entire crusade for justice was pushed by 2 English channels and 2 Hindi channels. Social media warriors can, yes, they use the situation one way or the other to their advantage, which is a necessary evil. But that doesn't mean that the entire case is false or falsified by social media campaign.
Yeah, Tanvi, can I respond to that, please?
But it's different when it comes to the Hathras case and the conspiracy against Yogi Adityanath.
No, like I just mentioned, your own sister channel is playing out a completely different story about Hathras. So on the contrary, what happens?
Doesn't matter what the sister channel is doing. Let's talk about what is happening on social media, because your own party leader and UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath and his government in their written affidavit to the court have now spoken about Facebook posts and social media posts and fake posts which are largely about him, to say that there was a conspiracy to target him in the Hathras case.
So in that same affidavit, Tanvi, he has also asked for a Supreme Court monitored CBI investigation. That can only happen when the government is very clear, is very unambiguous about what it is stating, and has absolutely nothing to hide. How many state governments would you come across who petition or who...
No, you are highly mistaken, Tuhin Sinha. It's not, you are highly mistaken. It's not about the government has nothing to hide. The government has very clearly, simply out there told us how they have mismanaged the case, and the whole country has saw it. Now, later on, you can sit and debate about whether this happened or that happened. Fact of the matter is, a 19-year-old girl is dead. And the UP government and the UP police doesn't have a single answer for us on why that happened and how that happened 3 weeks after the incident took place, Tuhin. I don't want to talk about that case anymore. We have already given 1 hour on prime time today and for the last 1 week on that case. So let's not go back to the merits of the case, please. The UP police did a shoddy job in that case, and that has been proven. Now let's come to the use of social media, because that's an allegation that the UP government and the Maharashtra government has made to him. Let's talk about that.
Tanvi, can I come in and I respond to that?
See, if you know me, I will not defend what is
Yes,
indefensible.
Clyde.
I will put this on record that yes, the way the victim was buried against the wishes of her family is condemnable. And all the police officers or everybody responsible for it should be booked. But other than that, what else? What has the government not done? Whether it is immediately instituting the CBI inquiry, whether it was...
Other than that, you and your government and your police needs to stop depending on media channels to do the investigation for you and bring out the truth. If the police and the government knows the truth, they need to do the right thing by this girl. A 19-year-old girl is dead. Stop waiting for media channels to do the investigation for you and bringing out the details and then bashing the media. I am sick and tired of this media bashing that happens in every single case. When it suits your narrative, then oh, very good by the media. When it doesn't suit your narrative, then let's start bashing the media. Please find another platform to do it. Yes, Clyde, you wanted to make a point. Go ahead, please, before I go back to your experts.
I just like to make a couple of points, and please allow me to speak. Very importantly, you earlier said that I was not willing to take names. Now, I was not willing to take names in terms of the 80,000 accounts that we are talking about. But now I'm going to take names and tell you what it is. Now, the BJP spokesperson started off by saying that social media is a necessary evil. For him, it may be a necessary evil. For his party, BJP, it may be a necessary evil. It is not a necessary evil. It cannot be made into an evil because social media cannot be used as an evil. It has to be used for the right purposes. They have been setting the narrative. Now you're talking about names. The BJP spokesperson, the people from the BJP set this narrative throughout in the last couple of months regarding the death surrounding Sushant Singh. They set the narrative. Their own leaders, their own spokesperson kept on posting things that, this is like this is like that. They did not trust the Mumbai police. They wanted the CBI to come in. Now that the CBI is coming up with a report, they're not trusting the CBI. They do not trust the AIMS report. Listen, we trust all our agencies. These are the people that do not trust the agencies. They keep saying things like necessary evil and all. BJP has been setting these narratives, the false narrative. They've been using social media as a necessary evil, which said in simple, straightforward words by the BJP spokesperson that it is a necessary evil. For us, it is not a necessary evil. We believe that social media is a good medium and it has to be used in the right way.
No, but let's see. Where is the evidence? where is the evidence? We have to see, Clyde. We have to see where is the evidence that the BJP or their members actually paid for these handles, for these fake handles and bots. That evidence has to emerge. But there is evidence of how the social media was used to push a certain kind of narrative. And Ritesh, you mentioned it. Just help our viewers understand, and I want our viewers to understand this so that the next time they're a little bit more wary when there is so much noise being created about a story, to understand the facts and filter out everything else. Ritesh, give us some specific examples of how this is done.
Okay, so Tanvi, let's take it this way. So what is happening is, I'm just reading your the footer, what all is coming, the tickers which are there. Does the noise on social media take away the real issue? Yes, it does. I mean, is it being used to stoke passion amid sensitive cases? Absolutely yes. But what is happening? As even Jiten said, that there's nothing much that can be done about it, because this is how the social media is. It can be used, it can be misused. But yes, what is happening? The one with the power, the one with the money, the one with they are able to manipulate whatever they want, because these things can be bought. So now coming to the thing that you asked me to explain with a specific thing. So let's say if I want to talk about anti-CAA protests, if I want to talk about anything else as such also, I am just going to kind of hire agencies, have bots, and most of them are likely to be in the foreign lands. You really need to pay them as so this is like the one way that we do. And these are the guys, and they just come up with a particular hashtag and a trend. And even like Jiten rightly said, now this is also at times done. If you need to promote a movie, you need to promote something else, it could be a brand also, these things are happening. But here what is happening over here is it's more from the foreign land as such, because then the IPs that come up there, it's difficult. Of course you can trace them, but then it's very difficult because of the the jurisdiction issues and all that. So it gets very difficult to trace them. You pick up a hashtag, make it trend. There are some people who just make a new account, there are comments, retweets, and other kind of things. But these are all doctored. These are like provided to you. They are actually provided. There are WhatsApp groups, there are Telegram groups, there are many groups. Like again, I'm referring to the article that came in your sister concern, the Times of India. There they had an app which is not available on the Play Store. So this app had to be downloaded from a particular server, or it was given away by the Bluetooth. And then over there it was discussed as to what we need to talk about tomorrow. So this was more about these digital vigilantes who wanted to do it. Now whether they were paid or not paid, that part is not over there, but I'm sure nobody would want to do it for free for such a long time, and that too what is every day. So we really need to understand that whatever we see whatever we hear, whatever we see, whatever we hear is really unbelievable. As such, we need to do our homework, get onto more of the facts. Else, as I always say, the social media needs to be more you just consume what is related to your work as such, and the other things really need to be kept aside. I personally feel I have subscribed to a few websites, or I just watch few channels including yours, wherein I can trust. So that's it. Other things are more of kind of brainwashing, or it can just lead you to to nowhere, and then you just it just brainwashes you, and you have no opinion of your own. The opinion is what is of the majority of the social media. So we need to be very, very careful, and this is just getting murkier day by day. Tanvi.
Thank you for that. Jiten, you wanted to come in as well. Please go ahead.
You see, Tanvi, it's not a zero-sum game. You can't have everything in black and white. I mean, you can't compare Delhi riots, Hathras, and this. See, let's introspect. And if you allow, and if you're honest about what the professions we bring in, the skills we come in all the professions, including media and cyber. See, from last 2-3 years, we are seeing an age of media trials. We lynched people, channels ran campaigns to pronounce somebody guilty. They've, pronounced verdicts even before the courts stepped in, even before the trials begin. Channels are, I mean, why would you pay someone to trend a hashtag when the channels themselves are running a hashtag campaign? So we are living in a different age. Now, only thing what is changing in last 1 year is now There is a social media trial which is going on. Now it has gone even out of control of mainstream media. Now there is a social media trial even before the issue is reported in mainstream media with facts. We have a social media judgment. The anchors are not giving facts; they are giving opinions. They are pronouncing judgment. So that is a bigger problem in the society. Two, I think what happened in UP, let's keep the incident, the tragedy separate because that is a horrific tragedy. We must not trivialize in these debates. But the larger issue of using social media to tell people that how to treat bullet wounds, how to pelt stones at police, what to wear, and how to tackle police and throw stones at them. I think it's a serious issue. It has happened in UP today. It can happen in Mumbai tomorrow. It's not about Yogi government. It's not about Mumbai government. It is about the way social media is used to orchestrate riots and violence in the cities. Second, what is happening in Mumbai? If 1 million people are trending, for, targeting the Maharashtra government or Sushant Singh, I am okay if it is their opinion. But if there are fake, followers who are targeting Bombay police, then it is a problem. As long as it is a genuine opinion, it is all fine. So we must differentiate. There are very thin lines. There are very fine boundaries. We must, and treat very, very carefully. Third, what we have to understand is about what happened in Delhi riots. There was a clear involvement of foreign intelligence agencies to orchestrate, to amplify, to fuel the riots, and put a sentiment to create a divided society. Irrespective of what political ideology you belong to, what is your view, we have seen 40,000 accounts created overnight and just was posting fake pictures and video of Delhi riots. Most of them were from Syria, Palestine, Bangladesh. So it's a problem of a bigger scale. So when we debate, we must keep the political ideologies apart and we must focus on the real issue. If we trivialize into a BJP versus NCP or Congress, I think we will
So
serve no
how do
purpose in
we,
this debate.
okay. Okay, so let's just assume that this is happening at a, larger scale.
There is a simple solution.
In multiple
Charity
instances,
begins
we
at
have seen it, irrespective of which political party is there.
Tanvi, charity begins at home. Let NCP and BJP say they'll declare the funding and the working of IT cells tomorrow. Even NCP has an IT cell. Come on, what are we trying to debate? Every political party, every institution is using it. It's not about good and bad. When the election comes, all sort of money is deployed.
Jitin.
Let's bring that reality.
Jitin, I have been trying to get the political parties to declare their source of funding for a really long time now. Unfortunately, what has happened is they've only found ways to make it harder for us to know where the money is coming from. So, very idealistic if we demand them to, do this and bring about a change. Let's talk about realistic solutions. What can be done to then control it? Or is it up to an individual state and its police to then crack down on these handles? Jitin, to you, and then I'll go to Clyde and Tuhin.
We must all together collectively do one simple thing. Moment you see a fake account or a fake post, or you think that this account is not handled by a man, it's a bot or a foreign account, report it. A mere 3-second job solves the problem of fake news and propaganda and bots. It's a very small thing. Don't just leave it when you see it's a fake. Report it.
Can I answer Jitin, please?
Okay. When you see something which is fake, report it. Yes, Clyde, go ahead. And then Tuhin.
Yeah, Jitin, thank you for asking and highlighting that NCP does have an IT cell. Yes, we do have an IT cell. And if you wish to know anything about the IT cell, how we do, how we function, you're most welcome. You tell me. You can take my number from the Mirror Now team. We can get in touch. You tell me when you would like to come. We'll invite you to our office. I'll introduce you.
Accepted. I will come.
Yes,
accepted. I will come.
We would be happy to have people like you that come and talk to us, because from whatever you're talking on this channel, it makes a lot of sense, and we need sensible people to be part of what we are doing, and we want sensible people to understand what we are doing also. So you're most welcome. Please feel free to come. Secondly, all that you are saying, it's not just about political parties here. It is about these certain political parties who are creating this narrative, setting this narrative, and this mess needs to be cleaned up, Tanvi. And it's about time. The BJP spokesperson can go on saying that this is exaggerated and all. They should go and read the official reports, and because I won't be surprised because if they raise questions to official reports, because right from our national agencies to our police to everybody, they question everybody because they think they're holier than thou. So I'm not surprised they'll question any report. Their data, which is always fudged, is always the correct data, and all the correct data is fudged. So they can go on and say whatever they want to say, but the fact of the matter is that media has to be.
Okay, so Tuhin, is it a case where for the initial few years Your party had a great handle on how to use social media very well. It's now come to a point where almost everybody also knows how to misuse social media. And if that's the case, how do we fix this problem? Or is it just up to the people to know right from wrong and there's hardly anything that the governments can do?
First of all, I'm very amused that somebody should be so agitated with me calling the social media a necessary evil. Don't we know for a fact that there were certain political parties whose mainstay was corruption? Don't we know for a fact that there were certain political parties who thrived in brokerage and commission money on government projects? Social media vigilantes have put an end to that. So at least give the credit to social media warriors for that. Secondly, do you think the best CM campaign for the worst CM of the world would have run without bots and without fake handles? So I think the social media is something we won't have much control over. I think the mainstream media needs to be more responsible. But yes, social media, wherever it will stoke antisocial elements or elements which are inimical to the country, as it happened in Delhi riots, will have to be combated with an iron hand.
Tanvi, 30 seconds.
No, enough. You've had more than 30 seconds.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tuhin Sinha, are you afraid of me? Why are you getting afraid of me, Tuhin Sinha? Don't be afraid of me, don't be afraid of the truth. The fact of the matter is, I'm not agitated. Secondly, when you call something an evil, evil will always agitate people who would want to do the right things. And he spoke about brokerage, this, that, and all. These narratives have come and gone. They have not been able to prove anything. And this is the
Did I mention any political party? Did I mention any political party?
They will talk everything. Why don't you prove it? Come on. I'm challenging on this channel that the narrative that you said for so many years, come and prove it. For 5 years when you were in government in Maharashtra, you could not do anything to prove this. And you will never be able to prove this because there was no truth in the conjecture and the canards that you've been spreading. So stop giving this, the kind of rubbish talk that you've been giving all these years and come to the actual facts. Stop using, social media as an evil and stop corrupting the minds of people. Start talking sense. It's about time that BJP and BJP spokespersons like you start talking sense. That's all I have to say.
I don't need 30
seconds. Okay, I'm completely out of time. What essentially I do want to say here.
I don't need 30 seconds more because the
Sorry, Tuhin, I couldn't hear you. Go ahead. Yeah, okay.
So I don't need 30 seconds more because I said the charge which I made was impactful.
Okay, you don't. All right. Let me just say this, that the two governments have now made it very clear that there was a foreign hand, a larger conspiracy by opposition parties, rival groups, those who oppose these parties ideologically. In Uttar Pradesh, a different set, in Maharashtra, a different set, to malign the respective governments and their police force. Now, what is interesting is that on one side it's the BJP and the other side is actually the NCP and the Shiv Sena which are claiming this. So, what we are looking at is a situation where any big story can be picked up and any kind of narrative can be pushed, provided whoever moves faster, has a better strategy, has more money and pulls in the resources together to push a certain narrative. It is up to you, the consumer of all this information, irrespective of which media you consume it on, to be a little careful about what you read, what you watch, what you listen to before you make up your mind. I would go out to the extent of saying don't believe anything and everything that you get unless you are able to do an exhaustive research by yourself. Let the facts emerge in crucial crime cases as they are presented in the court and the court decides on it. Everything else, be a little careful before you believe, whether it was the Sushant case or even the Hathras case. In the Hathras case, from day one, we have spoken about the fact that there has been a murder, a brutal assault, and an allegation of rape. Even if the government manages to dismiss the charge of rape, doesn't take away from the fact that a brutal crime took place and a 19-year-old is dead. Doesn't take away from the fact that the way the UP police handled the case. And that is what has to be questioned, which we have done for over a week. And we will continue to do so. Everything else, the surround sound, is up to you, the viewer, to make out the difference between facts and the surround sound, and then proceed from there. Thank you so much to our panelists for joining us on this conversation.